What's up, Braves Nation? Are you ready for what's coming, or are you going to stay on the fence, doubting the power of the chop on and our dominance in the division? If your heart isn't racing and your mind isn't burning with off-season heat, you're not playing the right game. Winter has arrived in Atlanta, and the temperature is freezing in the front office. The off-season is no time for rest. It's time for reconstruction. And we all know where our team's armor has a dangerous crack: in the UEO bullpen. What happened to that closer who gave us peace of mind? Raisel Iglesias. He survived the trade deadline against all expectations, giving fans a sliver of hope, but now the free agent market is calling, and his market value, according to experts, is skyrocketing. GM Alex Anthopoulos doesn't usually enter expensive bidding wars, and the warning has already been issued by FanSided. After 2 consecutive mediocre seasons, and with the payroll already squeezed, it's likely the chase for Iglesias will be dropped early, allowing focus to shift to younger or even internal options. Even though some believe he might be re-signed, reality points toward goodbye. But my friends, prepare yourselves for the bomb that Ken Rosenthal of The Athletic just dropped, which could change the balance of power in the National League East. If Iglesias leaves, who comes in? It's not just any name, it's a name that hurts. It's a name that comes from the heart of our own division, a pitcher we know all too well and who has terrorized the Braves for years. The Atlanta Braves are targeting and aiming high the closer playing for the New York Mets, Edwin Diaz. This isn't just a signing, it's a declaration of war in the NL East. It's the fire-throwing arm of a direct rival. The man who was just voted reliever of the year for the 3rd time in his career. Diaz and his combination of overwhelming fastball and devastating slider are not just an improvement over Iglesias. They are complete domination, especially in a bullpen that is Anthopoulos' #1 priority. And what is the cost of this domination? A contract that could hit the $102 million mark? A move that only happens if the front office is willing to aggressively increase the payroll. Hiring a division rival for that amount is proof that we intend to keep the chop on at the top. The burning question is, will the Braves manage to snatch the Mets' elite arm, or is this just another off-season speculation? Stay tuned, because the 2026 bullpen is starting to be designed right now. The atmosphere is pure urgency in A-Town. The offseason has barely begun, and the Atlanta Braves front office is already zeroed in on what truly matters for the 2026 ring hunt. We are the best team in the National League. Our chop-on must be relentless, and for that, we cannot have holes in the roster. And the hole this time, my friends, is our bullpen. It is the team's nervous core. The big drama now is the Raisel Iglesias situation. There was a widespread belief, even before the trade deadline, that his time in Atlanta was coming to an end. We can't deny that Iglesias delivered 2, let's just say, average seasons, right? And that, by our standard of excellence, simply won't cut it. The fear is real and has been voiced by major commentators. Christopher Klein of FanSided went straight to the point. We cannot be certain that Iglesias' market value won't inflate to a level that makes Alex Anthopoulos nervous. And we know Anthopoulos' philosophy. He prefers to secure our guys early, before the free agent market starts the money drain. The fact that Iglesias is heading toward free agency after having survived the trade deadline against all expectations is not a good sign for his permanence. The reality, according to Klein, is that Atlanta will likely skip the bidding war for Iglesias early on to focus on younger options or players already within the organization. But baseball? Oh, baseball loves drama. Braves specialist Bowman brought a light of hope, reminding the fans that the fact that Iglesias wasn't traded this season could, in fact, be a sign that he would stay, or at least that a re-signing this offseason would not be ruled out. However, when it comes to building a championship team, the mindset must always be focused on the upgrade, on total domination, and that's where the bomb from Ken Rosenthal of The Athletic comes in. Forget Iglesias, the target could be Edwin Diaz. Yes, him, the closer for the New York Mets, our division rival. The logic behind this audacious maneuver is solid and reveals our organization's championship mentality. Rosenthal attributed this possible investment to the explicit desire of the Braves to raise the payroll, to inject capital, and that's for one clear reason: the bullpen is the #1 priority. It's no secret that to be the best, you have to pay for the best. And Diaz is the best. He is, unquestionably, a massive upgrade over Iglesias. We are talking about a pitcher who just won the Reliever of the Year award for the 3rd time in his career, an endorsement that puts him on the elite shelf of Major League Baseball. His combination of fastball and slider is, simply put, devastating. It's an arsenal that extinguishes any chance for the opponent, turning the 9th inning into a formality. He is the kind of closer who turns tight games into guaranteed victories. Signing a talent of this caliber means the Braves are willing to enter the bidding war for the largest contract ever seen for a reliever, a value that flirts with the spectacular $102 million mark. That's not a value for a closer, that's a value for a general of the 9th inning. This play would be more than just an acquisition. It would be a declaration of war within the National League. Luring a direct division rival, the Mets' star closer, to wear the Braves' uniform. This has a massive psychological impact. Not only do we strengthen our weakness, transforming it into a superpower, but we also weaken a direct competitor for the division title. The chop-on demands that we not only win on the field, but that we dominate the off-season chessboard. Will Anthopoulos manage to make this masterful move? The interest is established, the need is clear, and the target is the man with the flashing light. This off-season promises to be electrifying, and we always expect victory. The urgency that the 2026 off-season imposes on the Atlanta Braves is palpable, fans. We are not talking about minor adjustments, but about high-risk surgery on the backbone of our most important defense, the bullpen. The chop-on mentality requires us to dominate the National League East Division, and that passes directly through having an elite closer, someone who slams the door shut in the 9th inning without giving the opponent a chance. The drama begins with Raisel Iglesias. Don't be fooled. Anthopoulos' track record is clear. Avoid the financial drain of the expensive free agent. Market at all costs, preferring to extend contracts internally and in advance. The fact that Iglesias survived the trade deadline and is still flirting with free agency, with his market value potentially inflating, does not bode well, as Christopher Klein of Fansided rightly pointed out. After 2 seasons that weren't his peak, Atlanta seems ready to say goodbye and seek a more definitive upgrade. Although there is the punctual and persistent hope of re-signing cited by Bowman, the cold reality is that we need an immediate impact and an arm that guarantees us the tight victories that decide the NL East. That's where the bomb explodes, courtesy of Ken Rosenthal of The Athletic. The target is not just a substitute, it's a precision missile aimed at the heart of our division rival. Edwin Diaz, the New York Mets closer. Forget financial caution. The news that the Braves would be willing to drastically increase the payroll to prioritize the bullpen and that Diaz is the main candidate is a reality shock for the entire MLB. This is not the usual Braves. This is a declaration of war. Signing Diaz would undeniably be a quantum leap in quality. We are talking about a pitcher who has just been elected Reliever of the Year for the 3rd time in his career, a seal of absolute dominance. The combination of the fiery fastball with that devastating slider is practically undecipherable for hitters. While Iglesias had his moments, Diaz operates on another, consistently elite level. The risk is astronomical, of course, because we are talking about a potential 9-figure contract, something in the $102 million range being rumored, for a reliever. The closer's market is volatile, but Diaz is the gold standard. Anthopoulos, known for his parsimony, is signaling that, to guarantee the World Series in 2026, he is willing to break the bank and tradition. The impact of such a move transcends the field. Taking a 3-time Reliever of the Year, who is the anchor of the New York Mets. Bullpen is not just a signing. It's a psychological blow to the NL East competition. If the Braves manage to entice Diaz to trade New York for Atlanta, we will be dismantling the defensive structure of a direct rival while shielding our own. This is the striking power that the chop-on demands. Not just winning games, but demoralizing the opposition before we even reach the ninth inning. The developments of this pursuit are crucial. Negotiating with Diaz will be complex. He will be the target of multiple rich teams, all desperate for guarantees at the end of the game. The Braves will have to be aggressive, and the news that they are willing to go this far with the payroll is the fuel the fans need. This is the missing piece to solidify our hegemony. The search for a closer who guarantees victory is the search for another ring, and if Diaz is the price, let him come. The time for waiting is over. The time to dominate is now, and that requires a closer who is, demonstrably, the best in the game. Let Edwin Diaz come. It is the champion mentality that drives this franchise. The NL East is historically ours. The attack with sluggers is devastating, and there is only one goal: World Series. Confidence is high on the mound and in the lineup. There is no rest for those who seek pennant glory. Now, I want to know your opinion. Don't miss any of the elite baseball action. Subscribe to the channel now, hit the bell to receive all notifications, and leave your honest comment about the future of this team. Let's debate the path to glory. Until next time, Chop Fanatics.